Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
Dude, how is he? He has like 5 kids. He should not be in prison.
No.
It's PJ, Charlie, Gabe.
Because it was like just so fun realizing what this movie was becoming as I was watching it was so crazy. Like,
It's a real movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's not like Marvel schlock. It's like a real, actually good
They
fucking
made
movie.
a good movie? What?
It is episode 125.
125.
I have returned.
Actually, everybody
Hello,
is now
hello.
back from their locations. We're all back in the original hometown of the Celsius podcast.
It's true.
Every
they're
single
gonna
one of us.
say, Like when you Google Palo Alto, it's gonna say home of the Celsius podcast.
It will say that in the future when we're.
So we only need one weather because it's just
That
61
is true.
here.
Yeah.
That's actually not true because I'm still in my jail.
That's just not true, Ari.
Oh, he's still in.
Why is
he's
he
still
lying?
in prison.
He just
Um,
we just completely
This furry
recreated
guy
his
keeps
room.
57.
And what episode are we on again?
125.
125. So that means in 5 weeks we will have episode 130.
And what's the plan for
So
130?
I already have the idea.
Yeah.
You want to
can
hear
tell
it? So
I would love to hear it.
the idea
Mentally
is
prepare.
the blind, deaf, mute cooking challenge. Are you aware? Do you know what this challenge is?
I don't
No.
want to do that.
Because I think it would be really fun for you three to figure that out.
No, because here's the thing: blind, deaf, and mute are not. Deaf and mute seem fine, but it's the being blind in a
Yeah, but
place
you can
where
speak
there are.
and hear, and you don't have to be the on cutting duty. And it's gonna be probably baking a cake anyway, so there won't be sharp stuff
Oh,
involved.
each one of us is one of
No,
the things.
one person. Yes, if
No?
you three are working together in a team, one person is gagged. They have muted. One person is noise canceling headphones, so they can't hear, and one person has a blindfold, so they can't see. And the three
This
of
is
you have
just
to work.
BDSM cooking, guys. What is
And the three of
happening?
you have to work together to be able to bake a cake.
And then you're filming. Is that
And
the
I'm
situation?
filming and judging the quality of the cake at the end.
This guy never wants to participate in it. He just wants to judge us.
I mean-
I think Beck
The
should
issue,
be the
it's
blind
a
one.
3-person
Maybe.
I
I
mean-
think I would be the great as the mute.
because
quite
I mean you guys
frankly.
really have to work because because like you have to use your strengths and weaknesses. So like the blind person can see and can
I'm-
hear and speak, so they can communicate and they can hear, but they can't see.
I would say I'd be great as the deaf person because I listen to a lot of music just when I'm doing work and like when I'm working my
Yeah.
job anyway.
But so
And
that
so
means
I
you have
can
to
really
figure out how
vision-
to.
yeah.
So it's like you guys have to
Okay.
figure out how to communicate with each
The
other.
bl-
When
as
one
deaf-
Oh,
person
this
can't
is this
see,
is
one
this
person.
is easy then. We sit back down in the corner. Me and Uri just don't communicate with each other and we just figure it out.
like visually. Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna come in blind and I'm gonna clean house.
And you're gonna fuck it up, is what you're gonna do.
I know more about.
We will
cake
just need
than
all
you
we're
guys.
going
That's
to
not
need.
true. That cannot be true.
I've baked multiple cakes.
I don't think
I
that's
have-
true.
Baked multiple different things.
I've also baked multiple different things.
So anyway, in
Yeah.
5 weeks, we will need to have a kitchen to film it in. We will need to have the ingredients, and we will need to have the ability
Question. Question.
to. The recipe is also not final either, because I'm thinking I'm like trying to do. I'm saying a cake would be interesting because that's I think what we traditionally do. But
Can we
also,
do something out of here?
Yeah,
Minecraft cookbook.
yeah.
I
Let's
think,
see.
and I think the way we would film it, we have one camera like doing just the big angle, and then Nico
Well-
would just go in and get closer shots of us doing the
Exactly. If
thing.
you have the remember that gimbal I gave you that you haven't
Yeah.
used, I can use that.
Chicken jockey.
Chicken
Holy
jockey
shit.
sandwich?
Guys, we need something a bit more relevant. It's a bit dated by now.
It needs to be
the chicken
something that's
jockey.
very rigorous.
We're
That's not
literally
easy to
going
do.
see the Minecraft.
Also,
movie
it should be
from
something that
Netflix.
like you have to work together with because that's what's gonna make it actually fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
Beck.
gonna have to figure that out because like
And-
it seems like a really easy thing to just like have one of us sit it out
Yeah.
or have
Maybe what
all
I'll
of
just
us
do is
sit it
put a
out.
time limit on it so it's impossible for one person to do it by themselves. Yeah. Because I might put a time limit on it, so then it's like you guys have to work together, else you're not going to get it done in time.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
Good work.
But that's the idea. So stay tuned for episode 130.
Much better than the Celsius pod beats the Bechdel test.
Here's
Yeah.
the problem, though. I
I am gonna beat the Bechdel test this year.
I hate it when people are in the kitchen at the same time as me. Like, I will get, like, I don't get mad or pissed a lot, but that is one thing that makes me, like, actually pissed.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
So
be
good content is what you're saying, Aiden.
Exactly. It'll be great content.
That's exactly why I chose this challenge. Because I was like,
is if we mess up, we throw up because salmonella.
exactly. That's another, it's high stakes.
High stakes.
You can just cook
Yeah, we
the
don't
thing
need
all the way through.
We're not
That
gonna
is true.
eat it.
It's, you can also just burn it.
Yeah, we have to eat it. That's part of the.
Are we
rule.
serving it to
Yeah,
Nicola?
whatever happens, we must eat it. That's the
Okay.
that's the final thing.
We can torture Nicola by just making a fucking raw cake that he has to eat.
Okay, if it's edible, I will eat it. But if it's just like you're not gonna
No,
serve
no.
me, you're not gonna serve me cake
Are we
soup. I'm not gonna
poisoning
eat
Nicola?
that. I'm not eating cake soup
Bro is gonna eat cake.
How would it be soup?
because you just don't bake it. All right. Well, that was our little slice of life part of it. So that was our planning. So let's
Yeah.
get back
So
to
if you,
Not a Celsius pod episode if we don't plan something.
so let's
in the
get
first-
back to the main event, which is what we've been watching. Which
Nicola,
I don't have any
assume
solos.
you really.
I've been too busy with tests and stuff, so I've only been watching movies with people at the theater, so I haven't watched anything on my own.
I
Guys,
swear to God, Nicola does not understand senioritis. He's doing it.
I wish I could just senioritis, but I'm just not allowed to.
That's a fucking weak ass excuse.
guys, I'm gonna be talking about something I'm gonna do for the next 3 episodes. For each of the next 3 episodes, I will watch the entire Before trilogy.
I want to, now that I finished
The what?
Dexter.
The Before trilogy. I will
What
watch
is that?
Before. It's Ethan Hawke and like he's like falling in love with like a woman.
Yeah.
It's like Linklater movies.
Similar on that
Um,
vein, because I finished Dexter, I do need like another like type of show like that. So I've been thinking I might start House and watch that
No,
entire
Nicola,
show.
don't start House.
Because I think that would also be really funny, just like Dexter. So that might happen.
Nicola, watch all of Criminal Minds.
I'm not watching all of
Watch
Criminal
all
Minds.
of NCIS.
I would.
Yeah,
no,
I was gonna say do like one of the long running.
no, I would much rather
ones
do
like that.
House. I think
I
House
want you
will.
to know, I
Okay.
got 16 seasons into NCIS where I was like,
How? How did you do that?
Yeah,
Is that
Beck-
possible?
I
Beck.
binged a lot.
I
of
would never know
NCIS.
Beck doing it.
Beck, why are you an old fucking person? Like, you watch John Oliver, you watch NCIS. Why are you the most old fucking person ever?
What is John Oliver your point for that?
It
That's
literally.
a pretty good point.
It
I
is a
don't
good
know,
point.
man. That's a really good point that he has made.
I disagree.
Why are you an old person?
He
Uh,
is. We've
I
discovered
am
this.
literally younger than both of you.
But you're like a grandma.
He's just a
You are
widow
like a
baby,
grandma.
guys. Stop bullying the widow
Let me
baby.
tell you something. Does a grandma sleep all day?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait. No. This is starting to sound a lot more plausible.
Hold on.
He sleeps all day. He can barely drive.
Wait.
Bro has never seen me
Barely
can't-
drive.
He
drive.
can't see without glasses.
Where is
walk.
this?
He
Where
can't
is
walk.
this coming from where I can't drive?
He can't see
He
without
can't-
glasses. He sleeps all day. He can barely
He
drive.
can't walk for
He
like more
watches
than like
old
an hour.
people show. He can't
can
walk
only
for a
walk
long
for an
time.
hour,
I
that's
think he's
true.
a grandma.
Celsius Pod Olympics.
I think
You
he's a
guys-
grandma.
I
That's
literally.
Guy, okay, listen. This is the fallacy of you had both trained
Yeah,
and also
I do gotta
acclimated
say-
to the temperature.
I do gotta
Holy
say,
shit.
Beck,
This guy can.
I did.
This guy's coming up with so many excuses. I was a minute faster than you
Yeah, okay.
And I walked the last lap.
And I did.
because you gave up.
The lion does not train at all for sporting events, and that is what I did, and therefore I
Okay,
did great.
Beck. I would say you were a good runner, but Beck, have you seen yourself walking just like a regular
Yeah,
walk for an hour?
And that's not endurance. If we went to just see who could walk the longest, who could walk the most miles? That's the next Olympics. Is just who can walk the
Run it
the
back.
most.
We just
Run
go.
it back. Celsius
Well,
Pod
we go to
2,
Stanford
we will
Dish.
do whoever
Should we
can
just go to
walk
s-
the longest.
We should just go to Stanford Dish and see who can do as many laps as possible.
I like that idea.
I would
because-
literally run it and I'd clean all of you.
Yes,
So-
sure. Let him do that. Let him do that. Let him run it.
Yeah, well, you can run it, so that's fine.
What were we saying? So
You're
back
you're
watching
watching the-
NCIS and Nicola, you're gonna watch House?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Well,
I'll do
what
that
if there's a
thing.
different show that you could actually be watching that you said you'd watch?
Oh, the summer arc. You see, the issue with this is I was told it's actually on Tubi, and I don't have Tubi.
So Tubi is free.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't have Tubi. So unfortunately, I'll have to hold off. Don't
And I
worry.
will say
Don't worry.
Yeah.
By next Wednesday, I will have watched the entire first season.
now, unfortunately for the audience here, and fortunately for Uri, I don't think we're gonna be able to go in depth like we did for the other two summer arc shows because this is an episodic baby show for babies. So nothing's
Wow.
gonna happen, I think.
I would never have guessed. I watched the second episode of the show and they had very much a lot of subtlety in like the themes
It was very
and
subtle.
like
Yeah.
foreshadowing.
Yeah, so me and Beck watched the first two episodes, and
How
what we
was it?
gathered, it's boring.
It gets
And
good
that's
at the,
about
it gets really good at the sixth season. You just have to keep watching.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Just gotta keep
You
watching.
just gotta keep watching.
Yeah.
It gets really good the longer you watch it.
Anyway, there's 6 characters, and they're
The
friends.
main 6.
The main 6, spelled MANE, and they are friends, and they do things. So this is gonna be a low key, chill kind of summer arc. It's just gonna go in the background. We're gonna say, "Hey, we're still watching it. We're this far. We're not gonna go in depth. We don't need to talk about it too much."
Major plot developments.
Major plot, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's, like,
gonna be
a
a lot
The
of
Lich type
major
episode.
plot developments.
Yeah, whenever Twilight Sparkle gets harpooned and dies, we'll bring it up.
Does
Don't
Nicola,
worry.
Nicola. By the way, Nicola, would you like to tell us about the conclave that's going on right now? Would you like to tell
Oh
us about
yeah,
that?
so because
You
since
love
I'm the
movie.
expert, since I'm the expert because I watched the
Because-
movie.
Yeah.
So basically, the conclave started, and that's all we know.
All right, who's your pick for winner?
I think I was looking at the odds, and
Steph Curry. I'm saying Steph Curry.
I will say that the last,
I feel like Homelander. Has a
if
good
I
shot.
remember, one of the last
He is running, I heard.
one of the last, what's it called? The last conclave did take
Yeah.
like 5 years. So
Is that right?
Okay. The last
Or-
no, it 1 year in like 1342. It took 3 years.
So I think right now the Pope with the best odds, if I remember correctly, is I think it might be
There's an Asian
Pietro.
Pope nomination. There's a Black Pope nomination.
I'm
I've
thinking it
heard.
might be
That's very
Pietro
exciting.
Parolin.
Pascal? He's part of this now? That's awesome.
Can we
Damn,
get
he's really in everything.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm just looking, and I'm just trying to see who has the best odds.
Well, anyway, I want to talk about this really quickly because it was really announced as a big thing. Even though this guy says he does a lot of these things, announces a lot of things, but he never actually does them. Because like recently, it was announced there's going to be a 100% film tariff on movies outside.
He did say that.
But the
big
thing is-
the big orange man that leads our country.
But the thing is, he talks so many things, but he never actually does them. So I'm still kind of wary about seeing this out because the thing is, there is legitimately a problem with films not being filmed in America, especially California. That is a big problem, but this tariff thing is stupid because it's just going to make I would say there's an actual problem of things not being filmed in California, and California has made a mess of that. Things are not being filmed in California or in Los Angeles or Hollywood at all, and they're being filmed outside. That they need to fix that. But this tariff thing is just dumb. I don't know if anyone wants to say anything about that, but that's just something I really want to
Well,
quickly
according to
mention.
macroeconomics, the tariffs are to protect domestic producers at the expense of domestic consumers. And the way you would set it up is you do a supply and demand curve where you'd have 3 different supply curves, one for the supply globally, one for the supply with the trade barrier, and one with the supply of domestic. And then by seeing where that intersects with the demand graph, you can see the quantity of domestic that's like being made versus the quantity with the trade barrier, and the gap is how much it actually is being made. And then you see that's really a lose-lose situation because they don't really work, because that's just simple economics.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're thinking
I don't
about
know
like
if you
think
can
about all
tell.
these
I have the
movies.
macro. I have the AP macro exam on Friday, so I'm very much in the AP macro mindset right now.
But we think about like movies that are not being made in America, because like think about like would I don't know, the Odyssey be considered a foreign film if it's being filmed outside of outside of America? Where are we considering the levels here?
Yeah, what about like Doomsday? That's being filmed outside of America for the most
Yeah,
Yeah,
part.
so many
most
films are
things-
filmed internationally nowadays. That's kind of impossible.
There's like some films where you have to film internationally, like you cannot film Dune in like Idaho, but like
What do you mean? Space is so similar to Idaho.
yeah,
you
no,
could
it's like
film Dune. You could film Dune in California if they did it right.
Yeah, you could film. Okay, how about this? You could film Dune in California, but you couldn't film California in Dune. Think about it.
You could if they had the infrastructure there.
guys, I got my sick waves, and then the fucking the worm comes out.
Out of like the ocean, like they're surfing.
Yeah.
They're just surfing.
The sand
That's actually
dunes.
sick. Can we see surfing
Surfing
Joker?
Yeah. I don't know. Do we really want to see fucking Dune in Arkansas? What are we talking about here? You know?
Maybe it'd make the movie more enjoyable if it
I
was in
mean, the
Arkansas.
thing is, there
This
is
guy
kind of a
doesn't
point with the
fucking
fact because America does have the most diverse geography of any country, just because it's so vast and it covers so many different types of land. Literally
Yeah.
every single type of like not ecosystem, but like biome. I don't know how to say it other than like biome.
Biome Minecraft.
We have in America. Like we have salt lands, we have mountains, we have birch forests, we have spruce forests, we have tropical, we have everything.
Yeah, I'm noticing how you've named only Minecraft.
Yeah, those are the
biomes.
only ones I can think off my top of the head. Badlands.
That's also Minecraft, bro.
We don't have sexy deserts.
We do though. We do.
California.
You want
Is that
yellow
really a
deserts? We have what's it
What
called?
about,
We
like,
have
the
like the Mojave and stuff like that. You want
We have,
orange
like, the
deserts? We
salt
have Utah.
flats.
If you want salt flats, we literally have the Utah salt flats.
Mm-hmm.
We have every
know-
single type of geography in America. So that's kind of a reason why you could theoretically film stuff. But like some of like the infrastructure and stuff, you kind of can't because it's like just not built here. That's like, for example,
Like we don't have Eastern European architecture. here.
exactly. A lot of that architecture, like you can recreate it, but it's not the same. And it's also a lot more expensive to recreate it than to just film on location.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just something we're bringing up as a film podcast. So Beck, please change your major.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll change my name. Don't worry. I'll
I
change
like how just him has to change and not us. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't need to change my. I can actually no. I should probably change my major. I don't think it's gonna work out with this film tariff.
No, the aerospace engineer.
It's so deeply tied to the
Lockheed
movie
Martin is
industry.
really gonna fall behind because
It's really tied to the movie industry, so
It really is.
Let's talk. I guess I can do a single. Just get rid of my singles out of the way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One thing, I have to pull up
let's
his
see.
And then we-
letterbox so you can see them.
And then how about Uri? We do your one single, and then we do the movie that we all watched together without you.
Okay. Rewatched Lemonade Mouth recently.
Oh, I've
Hey, fire movie.
Fire
I've never
movie.
seen Lemonade Mouth.
I'm
never
Lemonade
seen
Mouth.
Lemonade Mouth.
I'm Lemonade Mouth. I'm
kind of
Lemonade
sucks,
Mouth.
but it's also
that's a
very
Danny
good.
Gonzalez video.
Yeah, because
It-
they all say I'm Lemonade Mouth at the end.
Yeah,
That's the
it
conclusion.
sucks.
Oh,
But it's
really? Is
good.
that why all of his Disney Channel movie videos are titled
No,
that?
it's because it originally comes from because his first one he did was Radio Rebel, and because Radio Rebel actually does end with them all standing up in the gym and saying, "I'm Radio Rebel," because she was like gonna get kicked out of school or something for being Radio Rebel. They're like,
Oh,
"Oh, you
that's why
can't
all his
prove
videos
I'm
are named
Radio
like
Rebel
that.
because every single student in the school said I'm Radio Rebel." So then after
I
that,
feel like
every
that's-
single movie he made reviewing Disney's Disney Channel movies, he would title it like I'm blah 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 blah.
Whatever.
So it's I'm
that makes a lot
Lemonade
of.
now.
I get it now. Well, how is Lemonade Mouth already?
The Lemonade Mouth. It's really funny because the movie starts off with they're at Madison Square Garden or something, and they're like,
the high school band does make it to Madison Square
they're like poets.
I was in a middle school band that made it to Disneyland, so I don't know.
They're like poets, revolutionaries. We've been called all of these things, and they're
No,
like,
but you have to remember, it starts with the very stereo. I mean, these are all tropes. I feel like almost because of Disney Channel, but like it starts at one point. And it's like, but before we get there, we have to go to the very beginning where it all started, and then the clock rewinds.
But the thing is, Nicola, they go back to where they start in detention, but then they're like, you know what? Let's go back even further.
Yeah,
they do
exactly.
two of them. They
It's
do
so
two of
good.
these.
I love Disney movies because they're just every single trope bundled together.
And then like they get like by the end of the movie, Aiden, one of the main characters is the main character from Smile 2.
Really?
The actress is she the Indian girl, that's Sky Riley. Smile 2.
Crazy.
And so that inspired me to watch Smile 2, but before I get to that, rewatch it. Before I get to that, they ended and then they skip how they get to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, no, they're like, guys, our high school band didn't get banned, and that's how we made it to Madison Square
They
Garden.
skipped the most important part of the story.
She's also Jasmine in the live action Aladdin.
Yeah.
But then and like it's such a serious movie because Bridget Mendler is like her character in the movie is like, my dad is in prison.
Dude, how is he? He has like 5 kids. He should not be in prison.
No.
It's PJ, Charlie, Gabe.
No. In this universe, it's just her and her grandma and her old cat. Like her cat's really fucking old.
They kill PJ.
They kill her cat.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
For me, I always thought like when I was like remembering the movie, I always remembered it as like Bridget Mendler wasn't the main character, but like the main rebel girl was like the main character of the movie.
She kind of was, but she's kind of a nothing character in the movie.
Yeah. She's like the one that like sets everything in motion, but she like doesn't really have an arc.
And the whole movie's a letter to her dad.
Also, the fact that the name of the thing came from the fact that like, oh, there was always the lemonade machine, so it's Lemonade Mouth.
That's
Okay,
so
but there's like a
stupid.
fire scene where they all stand there being like, guys, this is how it started because we all got lemonade from this.
And then at the wedding at the end of the movie,
Exactly.
one of the characters is like sitting next to a person is like, you know, I have a organic lemonade company. Wait, it's you? You're the guy?
And then they became the sponsor, and then they get sponsored, and they become super rich and famous.
And then the music program is saved, and then they go to Madison Square Garden. And then the villain band in this movie is like, his songs are so obnoxious. He's like, my life is better than your life.
Straight up
I'm
just like
better than you.
I love Disney movies, but they have like this like stereotypically bad villains that are just like, they're not even like good. They're just like bad.
Are you like the principal? Like, guys, we cannot have the rebel Disney like pop band, but we can have the fucking evil rock band.
It would be like if a teacher came out and they were like you cannot like, and he has like a class, and then there's like a group of students, and he's like, I loved your movie, but then he's evil. So then to the main cast of characters, he's like, I hate your movie. It's banned, and we gotta remove it from everything. And you know what? You gotta delete this because this is like making fun of MLK. And then you know,
nothing like that could ever happen.
That's so hypocrisy. That's like, that would have to be in a movie. There's no way that could happen in real life.
Yeah, that
it's
happened.
so
Almost destroyed the Celsius podcast.
It's so funny because like I think the girl who like sets up the band, she gets detention for what her shirt says, and her shirt says literally it just says question authority, like very basically
it's the funniest thing
authority.
when Disney movies do that.
And she goes to detention for
Because
that. That's
Disney-
insane.
Because Disney movies, they can't be like, they're not allowed to be edgy enough to like have an actual something that's like inappropriate on a shirt, but then at the same time they kind of have to have something that's like not appropriate. So like they're like, so this is a kid. This is like basically like a young teenager movie. So what would be something that's like they would think, oh right, they're teenagers, so they always question authority, and that's bad.
I hate it when people.
But the message
question
of the movie
authority.
actually is to question authority with the power of music or something like
With
that.
the power of love.
You can
That's
make a
the power of
difference.
the- Why did people start singing Steven Universe?
Because I don't know why he was. Maybe he's just memeing on it.
Yeah. But that's Lemonade Mouth. Very, very like it's kind of crazy, but it's always been like a charming childhood memory movie.
As good as you remember.
No. And then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna rewatch Smile 2 because Aiden, I
Actually,
forgot
right
that
before you
movie
say
is
that, I
like
do want to say, like, mention something really. I did just take a quick peek at my letterbox, and I do remember I have one single. That's
Okay,
it.
we can do your single at
But
some point.
yeah, we'll do that later.
so I watched that, and it's such a good movie, Aiden. It's so good. Smile 2 is such a
Again, I think it would have been like a 4 stars in my book if it wasn't a horror movie.
yeah.
Like I understand that's like what gives it a lot of its like
Yeah. I mean,
just
I just
like atmosphere
it's
and
just
stuff.
such, yeah,
But
yeah. It's such a fun movie though. It's so like
no, it's
fun.
it's so good.
It's so good. Like I know you don't. Like, you just mentioned you don't like the horror movie, but I really I love the Smile Demon and Aiden. I just love the final scene of the movie where
I agree. I like the Smile Demon. I think its design is really cool. I like how
it's
it's like
so
stop motion.
creepy. He's
Yeah.
so creepy. The guy. Like I'm gonna show an image to Beck.
I think we've seen the image before, but yeah, show it again.
Yeah. No, but for sure. I did really enjoy the movie. I think I did.
I like how you have to specifically show it to Beck as if I haven't also not watched it.
Well, yeah, but it won't scare
the guy
you.
who's scared of horror movies.
Oh, because you're
Yeah.
saying it's gonna scare Beck, but it's not gonna scare me.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, that kind of looks really funny to me. I don't know why.
So stupid.
It looks like he has like a fat. He looks like he has a really big chest, and he's doing like literally the Joker face.
Well, he's
Why so
climbing.
serious?
He's climbing out of the woman.
So it's like
And so
it's
but
like
actually in the movie it's terrifying.
Yeah. It's a
but
very
such a
frightening
fun
moment
movie.
in that movie.
As it works. It works. Smile 2 is so much better than Smile 1 because it works like on. It makes so much more fun when it's like a pop star who has like a
And
demon.
just like a regular fucking person.
Yeah, it's like because like now she has to deal with like people like publicly seeing her. It's much more hard to deal with.
instead of
and
just
the
a
fact that she-
therapist. Yeah.
Yeah. But because I think it works for the first one, and it has amazing implication for what the third one could be. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like such a fun concept because like you actually kind of expect her to win by the end of the movie.
Oh yeah,
But
she's
she-
so close. But I think they do a great job with like the twist in it. Like not having the friend be like there for her at all. And she's been operating by herself, and then the twist at the end, where the guy has just not been there either.
And she did
And then
not
the-
kill her mom. You know, she
Yeah.
thought she did, but she didn't.
Yeah, that entire like last like 30
Like,
minutes.
It's like a great like it's very fast. I think since they do like the flashback with her and her boyfriend when the car crash happened, since from that point it really kind of rushes.
Yeah.
And it's just a great act.
They just have to like, I don't know. I think like the fact that like nothing was real the whole time is such a hard thing to do and like have it work because it feels like such a cop out. Like oh, nothing was real, nothing mattered. But like, I think they do just like such a good job of it being not real.
Yeah, because like that can be very much like a thing. Like, oh, that's kind of stupid. Like, what was the point of what I watched? But for this particular movie, it really works well because then it lets you think what was real, what did I see? You know? Yeah. Just it's so when she does such a good job as like the lead actress of the movie.
Oh, for sure.
She's so fun. And like it was a much better like pop star than I think the one in Trap. She was like so like.
So you're telling me when it's
I really-
not just the director's daughter, and it's basically just a just like promotion for her own music.
My
It's good.
mom just watched Trap. I don't know what her opinions are on it. I
Gotta
don't
go out.
I
You gotta go and get her to come on right now and give her opinion.
I'll just go ask her real quick. Nicola, you talk about your solo.
Okay. You sure you don't want to be here for my solo? I feel like you're the one that would like it the most.
I have my headphones
Oh,
in.
I
I'll
see.
hear.
Okay. So I watched an anime that I've heard about that I heard was really good, and so I watched it. It's called Golden Boy. It's an episode. It's
Like
the
from the
Gen V?
boys?
yeah, but it's from it came out in the 90s if I remember correctly, if not earlier. Let me see exactly when it came out because the time period is kind of important. Golden Boy came out in 1995. So this it's like a mini series manga. It's only 6 episodes and it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit goonerish. Like the main
What? Why
the
would
main
you,
character
Nicola,
being
Nicola? Don't say goonerish.
I mean the
Yeah,
main I don't know how to describe it other than that. The main character um like being a pervert is kind of like and being extremely horny is like a really part of their character, but they're also like a really good person. So I have to go
Both are not like very
mutually exclusive.
compatible
I don't know.
things.
I'll go episode by episode and I'll explain it. So episode 1 is called Computer Lesson. It begins with our main character biking on his bicycle when he gets hit by a woman in a Ferrari, where she then walks out of the car, gets out of the car, walks up to him, asks if he's hurt, and then hands him like $1,000 or something like that. And this girl is wearing like a really revealing dress and has the craziest jiggle physics you have ever seen. And he's like, "Wow,
Yes,
that's
Aiden.
crazy." So then he was given.
Hold on,
say
hold on,
something.
Nicola. I have my mom's opinions on Trap.
All right.
She liked Josh Hartnett in it. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, he always played
sense.
the good guy, so she was glad to see him in a villain or antagonistic role. In addition, she found his character to be very good, and she liked that even though he was bad, we were still kind of rooting for him. But she did say that M. Night Shyamalan's daughter really brought down the movie with her acting and music and such. And said it was a miss for her in terms of M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Damn. Full review.
Yeah. Yeah.
Continue
All right,
about
you
the
can
Gooner anime.
continue
Yeah,
about
so
the porn
continue.
that you watched.
So after he sees the girl gets back in her Ferrari F40 and drives away at breakneck speed. He then pulls out his notebook and writes a lot of notes. He says, "How educating." That's one of his catchphrases. So then he got the money because the girl said, "Go fix your bike because your bike's broken. So use the $1,000 to go fix your bike." So he takes the bike, he gets it fixed, and he gets it at this like local bike shop, and the person at the bike shop is like, "Oh," it's like an older guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're too like, this is such an easy fix. I won't even charge you money for it." So then he steps away, and just as he gets the bike and he starts to leave, we see that the old man is getting attacked by like the Yakuza. Like they pull up and they're like, "Oh, you owe us money.
Oh.
You owe us money." So they start beating him up. And then we kind of get away and we go that he's now starting his new job and he's working at, because the name of the episode is Computer Lesson, he's working at like a coding firm basically. And keep in mind, this is 1995. So this is like a really like prosperous company. And it turns out the big boss, the CEO of the firm, is that girl who hit him, is the woman that hit him in the morning.
Wow.
So he basically, because he doesn't know anything about coding or that,
Nice.
he basically just becomes a janitor. So he's a janitor and he's working like crazy, and he gets into a bunch of hijinks and gimmicks as he cleans the bathroom, and then he's like, "Ooh, you know what I realized? Girls sit on this." So then he rubs his face all over it, and then the main lady comes in and sees him, so she beats the shit out of him. And then he takes a bunch of notes from all the girls who are teaching him how to code, until at night he finds out that that somebody left the lights on and left all the stuff powered on. So he turns off all the lights and he finds this computer and he couldn't figure out how to turn it off. So he just unplugs it. And then the boss lady walks in and she screams because he unplugged the hard drive that had all of the files saved on it. So they lost all the data and the project was due the next day and they were already behind schedule. So he got fired the same day he was working.
So
And it's so sad. So then, so they were trying to figure out and they were scrambling to get it in time when they find out that they were emailed, no, or they were like, he showed up the next day and he gave them a floppy disk that had an entire new stuff because he learned how to code that night, but like, or not that night, but that day by speaking to all the people and wrote the entire program from scratch himself and gave it back to them.
Wow. And then he slept with her?
No, and then she was like, oh my God, how did he, like, he's actually not a bad guy. And he goes out to find him, but he's gone. He ran away. And in the outro credits, we find out he's 25 years old. He went to the most prestigious law school in Tokyo, but he dropped out because he learned everything. So he was actually like that's the big thing. He's like actually like super
Just
smart.
like me.
He's just super smart, but he dropped out. He's the F student, basically. He's the inventor. The next episode is then, and this is basically, have you guys read the book? Okay, I'm not going to give a full, but I'm going to give like a little bit.
Can we not silo this one?
Yeah. So, are you guys aware of the story of Siddhartha, the book? Not
Yeah.
Buddha, but the book Siddhartha.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, well, Uri knows it. It's about
Yeah. Well, I'm not a
son.
simpleton.
It's about a son who leaves his family and he explores the world, and he goes through multiple lives and paths to learn like knowledge from different people. That's
Right.
basically who the protagonist is. He basically just bikes around Tokyo and he learns life lessons. He just takes jobs for free, basically, or not like really free, but he just takes jobs to learn as much knowledge as possible from
It's very much a
people.
slice of life type of thing.
It is very slice of life. So then episode 2 is called Temptation of the Maiden, where he is now working for the mayor of this, or a mayor elect of this city, who are he's like campaigning to be elected for mayor, but he's also like the mafia boss, like he is the Yakuza leader. And he ends up, he meets that Yakuza boss's daughter, and he starts tutoring the daughter, but the entire time the daughter is like coming onto him really strongly because she is trying to get him like beat up by the dad, because she's like, oh no, guys constantly look at me because I'm so pretty, but they never actually do anything because they're too scared of my dad. So she's like trying to tempt the main character the entire time, until at the end he finally does get like not tempted, but like basically she's like, oh, she gets hold of his notebook, and in his notebook he basically wrote that he saw completely through her, and he knew exactly what she was doing. So what she got so enraged by that she cut off all her clothes, put the scissors in his hands, and then screamed rape in the middle of the house, so that everybody in the household, all the Yakuza members, ran in and then beat the shit out of the main character. And the main character was like, you know what? I'll own up to it, and I'll say I do actually like her. So you know what? You can beat the shit out of me, but I like her anyway.
Nicola, I do want to say though, because what you said to me really astonished me, and you said this was better than JoJo.
What the?
Okay, you gotta understand that it is kind of peak because of the ending. You gotta get to the ending because it all ties together. So
Okay.
you just gotta get it. So the next episode is
No.
called Danger, the Virgin's First Love. So he's now working at a noodle
You're
shop.
just watching hentai, bro.
That's
You're
just-
watching
that's what
hentai.
it's so peak though. It's so peak. So
You're preaching it as if this is gospel, when literally Jesus is
it
in
straight
JoJo.
up is
Come on, man.
gospel. So the next episode is called that, and it follows he's now in a noodle shop. He's learning how to cook. He's working in a noodle shop, and
Raised in a noodle shop.
he's like working with this family, and the family has a daughter, and the daughter met this businessman who's like in the yacht, not in the yacht business, is in the cruise ship business. And the guy is like, and she's madly in love with him, and he's trying to get her to marry him. But then the main character finds out that the guy is actually evil, and he's just trying to marry her so that he can get the deed to the house, to the property where the noodle shop is, so that he can demolish it and make his business there, and then divorce her later, because he's actually in a Ponzi scheme with his actual woman. And so basically the main character has to prove to the daughter that like her true love is not actually true love, and he's actually just like exploiting her, until in the end he eventually does do it. And then she basically, every single episode ends, there's always like some prominent lady in every single episode, and they always end up falling in love with him by the end, but then he disappears to move on to the next city.
This makes sense. It's in the 90s.
Yeah. So then episode 4 is called Swimming in the Sea of Love. So now he's working to become a swim coach because he sees a super pretty lady. So he follows her into the swim room because she was wearing a swimsuit, and he's like, can I get a job here? And she's like, sure. And then he does not know how to swim. So he basically almost drowns in front of all the swim coaches. And she was like, maybe you should be a student. He's like, no, you know what? You don't believe that I can learn how to swim and be a good teacher. I challenge you in 1 month, I will beat you. And then and she's like, okay, sure. So then she walks away and then
Wait, beat her at what?
At swimming.
Swimming?
When she's
And
the
like
head
as
swim
like
coach.
a race?
Yes, because she's the head swim coach. And what's funny, because then she walks away and the people are like, she's a gold medalist in the Olympics for swimming, right? So he's like, oh, so I'm cooked. Anyway, he becomes a swim coach and
I don't think he's cooked.
and he starts teaching like and he's in like the youngest lane, so he's teaching the youngest kids. And basically he finds out that the program that the main girl set up is like really ruthless and is actually like taking the passion out of swimming. So he makes swimming fun again for the kids and gets them actually interested in the games. So then he gets kicked out of the program. I can't remember why, but he does get kicked out of the program. Oh, I remember why, because at one point she did challenge him to like a preemptive like race, to test the waters, where they went together, and he accidentally ended up getting a boner because he saw her. And so she was like, you're destroying the sanctity of the pool. And then she fired her and got him out of there. But then the next day she saw him, but he was already gone. But she saw one of the children he was teaching came with their parents and were like, thank you so much. Where is he? I actually love swimming now. And then she was like, you know what? I might not have lost in the race, but I actually lost the conceptual battle because it turns out he's a better teacher than me. And she wants to see.
Okay.
And yeah. Then episode 5 is called Balls to the Wall.
Okay.
No way.
He is. This episode begins with he's now biking through the mountains, getting to Kyoto, and but he gets passed by a girl on a motorbike who then stops at a rest stop, drinks a beer in front of him, starts grinding all over her bike, and then speeds away.
The classic.
So then later on, he's getting a job under the wealthiest man in Japan in Kyoto, and he is learning how to be like very proper and very polite. Basically, he's learning how to get like the very proper, like how to live under royalty, basically, almost, because the guy's so rich. He's basically still like the ancient Japan traditions. So he's doing that, and there's a daughter, but then he finds out the daughter was the lady on the bike, and he knows this because he I don't remember why he got kicked out. No, I remember he got kicked out because he wasn't good at being proper. And so he was camping out and he saw her take a taxi away. So he was curious. So he followed, and then he found out she went into an abandoned building, and he found her grinding again on her motorbike. And basically he was just like, you know what? And then he gets caught looking at her while she's grinding all over the motorbike. And she's like, oh yeah, men could never satisfy me the way my bike does because nobody can ever beat my bike. My motorbike. So then he challenges her to a race. And so they race on a bike, and I kid you not, this is the best race because he's on a bicycle, she's on a motorbike, and somehow he still wins. And this shit is so fucking fire. It was actually the best race. And then because he
pulls the Shaggy Scooby-Doo
Yes.
in his
No, I'm going to tell you how this began. So they begin, he's falling behind when all of a sudden she drives past a guy in a Porsche. So our main character on his bicycle whips out a harpoon, hooks on the back of the Porsche, and uses it for a speed boost. So then the Porsche is chasing after him, but then they are about to hit a cat, so the Porsche swerves out the way. So then he gets flung up onto the air. He uses the harpoon to swing around a power pole until he's then biking on top of the power pole. And then eventually they're going side by side down a bridge onto a broken bridge, and he jumps across the bridge, Looney Tunes style. And she's like, oh my God, he actually beat me. So I'm in love with him now. And that's how that episode ends. And then the final episode is called Animation is Fun. And it's basically saying he's now working in an animation studio. And this is basically the life of an anime animators. So everybody is sleeping at their desks. Everybody's overworked. The due date for the project is on Friday, and like it's already Wednesday, and they can't get anything done. And like they can't get anything done because everything's going wrong. So this is where everything ties back together. Because here's the thing: they didn't have time to model everything. Oh, what if we 3D animated stuff? Oh, but we don't have any way to we don't have a program to do it. Wait a minute, I know a guy, he says. So he calls the girl from the first episode and says, can you guys make me a program for the help with 3D animation? And so they cook it up. Then the second episode, and then he's like, oh, we don't have any voice actors because they all flaked them the last minute. Oh, I know a couple girls. So then he calls the girls from the second episode and they come and they become voice actors. And then he's like, they're all hungry. All the animators are too hungry because they're too busy working and they can't get a proper meal. Don't worry, I learned how to cook in the 3rd episode, and I got the entire noodle shop family to come over and bring food because they also are friends. I don't remember what's the I know
Hey,
the
what is
fit.
this swimming crossover?
I can't. Oh, they needed, because a big plot point is that the anime that they were animating was like following like the body shapes of people, and it's like it was like it's a humanoid figure, and they need to like do it. They used her. They sent like videos of her swimming to like be able to
swimming.
correctly animate it as if it like look
Yeah.
a lot better. And then finally, the last one is balls to the walls. He has to deliver the final tape to the people in time, so he hands it off to the girl on the motorbike so she can make it in time.
Damn.
Wow.
And then there's also one girl that's working at the animation studio, and unlike all the other girls, she doesn't fall in love with him because she is
Lesbian.
no, but she is just like
Oh.
but instead he teaches her to love animation again because she was losing passion for animation, and he found out because he
Wow.
told her
Anime with
animation
passion.
is fun. Yeah, this episode is like kind of very fourth wall-y because it's really talking about like animation being awesome. Um, and then in the ending, they finally get to the final release. Everybody's watching it. The animating people are like, it's not as good as it could have been. But then everybody else at the end of the movie stands up and claps because it's like, this is great. And it's a great moment. And they're like, wait, we finally did it. Wait, where's the main character guy? He's already gone. And we found out he ran away.
No.
So then every single girl from all 6 episodes hop in, like work together to chase him down. And that's how the anime ends. And I don't know how to explain it. You have to watch it. It is peak. It is peak. It is Gooner, but at the same time, it is so peak.
I think you
There's
just
st-
watched porn,
if-
guys.
It's just like if you were. It's just like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like the story itself is so peak. If it didn't have the Gooner elements, it would be 100 times better. But it does.
Okay.
But even then, it's so good. It is so like the story is so fun in my opinion, and like it's such a fun. It's just such a fun
the way
watch.
You described it sounds pretty funny.
It's just a really fun watch.
I mean, it sounds really fun. Like it's sort of like an idea. Like it kind of like it's very kind of like a kind of a random sort of like show, but also kind of like speaking to something very
Yeah,
real. I think.
I know but I do know it's a very beloved anime. I know a lot of people do say this is their favorite anime.
Really.
Yeah,
Is it like a widely known
really
one?
like it. Yeah, it's a well-known one because again, it came out in 1995, so like it's been around for a while, and a lot of people do quite like it.
Nice. Are you trying to get into like older animes now?
No, I've just like because I've heard a lot of people liked it, and I was like, oh, it is something I would kind of want to watch. So
Is it like one season?
yeah, it's just 6
the one
episodes. That's it, and
Just
each
6
episode
episodes.
is
Series.
it's just 6 episodes, and each episode I think is like 20 minutes. Yeah, each episode's 20 minutes.
You should do Cowboy Bebop.
I
for
will
your
do
next
Cowboy
one.
Bebop. That will be my next one.
You should do
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter.
I'm going to
No,
send
don't do that.
I'll put the race clip in the like when he was racing the girl on the motorbike in Splatoon if you guys want to watch that later.
I'd watch that.
Okay, guys, talk about your.
This is
movie
not the
you
music
watched.
that was
Tell
playing
me.
in it. This is also one of the reasons because I did see this reel on Instagram, and that's kind of what finally pushed me to finally watch it.
Yeah.
Guys,
It's
talk
not
about your
set to that
movie.
music, sadly. So yeah,
Yeah. Let's talk.
You can
let's
watch that
talk
later.
about.
Until
Let's talk
Dawn?
about Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, absolute
Oh,
cinema.
I have singles.
Oh yeah, let him talk about
Fine.
singles.
Do your singles then.
I
Yeah.
have 2 singles.
Do we care about them though?
I think one of them maybe.
Oh, okay.
I watched X Territorial. Now,
Oh.
this is a random 2025 movie. It's like the #1 show on Netflix right now.
Everything is always.
Is it a
number
movie
one
or
on
is it a
Netflix.
show, Beck? You said
It's a
both
movie,
right
it's a movie.
Yeah, you're being inconsistent. I can't tell whether or not to believe you
It's a
anymore about
movie.
anything. Okay.
Okay, so it's this woman, and she was in Afghanistan, and her husband died. Sad.
Was
And
she
her
wait, Beck,
husband-
was she just in Afghanistan just like for fun, or like in
No,
like a
she was,
war?
like, a soldier. She's a German
Oh.
soldier.
Because when
in
you said that was
Afghanistan.
really funny. She's just in Afghanistan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she's in Afghanistan and she has an American boyfriend, and then they get fucking ambushed.
Why
And
is
when
he?
they're-
Why is he there?
Why
Uh,
is he there? That's a good
The
question.
Americans and the Germans are working together.
For what? What imaginary war is this bullshit where America and Germany are working together?
Okay, so
What
they
is
do
this
that.
part two?
America and what
They
working
get
together?
ambushed, and then the husband dies, but turns out they had sex the night before the ambush, and she's pregnant.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
Um,
Wait, sorry. What is this again?
This is called exterritorial.
And what year is this supposed to take place in?
I don't know.
Well,
2025.
it's Afghanistan, so it should be in like the 2000s, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would
something
make
like
sense.
that.
And then
It's
I
some
would.
random war.
And he said it's
in
Germany
some
and America
random-
working together.
See, this is
Yeah.
why I'm
Okay, no, that makes
confused.
sense then. If it's past World War II, then that makes sense. They're allies.
No, I don't believe it.
So
I'm
all
not.
this is
I'm not,
happening,
I'm not an ally
and
with
then
Germany.
through some weird case, the kid has U.S. citizenship, but the mom doesn't, and she got offered a job.
But she's
in
a
the US.
soldier?
Yeah. So she got offered a job in the U.S. and she's the only one that survived the ambush. Everyone else died, so she has PTSD.
Okay, that's
so
convenient.
she has to go to the U.S. consulate to get a visa, and she goes there, and the kid's like, "Mom, can I play on the PS5?"
Beck, why do you have like 5,000 lengths of rope in front of
This
you
is
right
my
now?
headphone cord.
Yeah,
This
why
is
is your
so-
headphone cord so long though?
I ordered it. I didn't realize it would be this big.
Bo needs to listen to his computer from across the house.
This is why
Um,
he needs to listen to it with one headphone in.
Yeah, that. So all this is happening, and then the kid's like, "I want to play on the PS5," and the
Oh,
mom's
true.
like, "Okay, for 5 minutes." And she goes to the bathroom, and she goes to pick up the kid, and the kid has disappeared.
What?
So she
What?
contacts the U.S. general, and he's like, "My son is missing. Please help me." And the guy's like, "Okay, we'll try to find him." And he's like, "We can't find him. Let's check the security footage." He checks the security footage. The kid never even came with her into the building. She's like, "Oh my god, have I been hallucinating this entire thing?"
Did she Joker Fight Club this kid? This you? Did she Joker Fight Club you, this kid?
So all this is happening, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna break into the restricted area of the consulate to look for my son because I saw two people like hand over a bag suspiciously." So
The
she
bag
goes,
that has her child in it. Classic.
and she tries to like jump between the buildings, and she just fucking falls.
So this sounds
forcefully.
like the Scourge, but bad.
Then she meets like this Russian girl.
So this just sounds like the Gorge, but bad.
Who's staying in the consulate, and they're like, "Okay, we need to find this kid." So they go to find the kid. They find a bag of drugs.
No.
Turns out the guy was drug dealing. But then she gets arrested by the American guy. It's like, "Wow, you're crazy. You're insane." And then she breaks out again because the Russian girl helps her. And then eventually she helps the Russian girl escape. And she's like, "Wait, I recognize that American guy from somewhere. He was in this random video snitching about our position in Afghanistan. So he betrayed us and led to everyone I know
sense.
being dead. And
Oh,
I'm the only one who could identify him.
so he's
So he wants
evil.
to kill me." So what he does is he kidnaps the dude's daughter, locks her in a safe room, and slowly drains the oxygen from the room. And is like,
Like from JoJo.
if you don't give me my son back, I will kill your daughter." But then she's like, "No, I can't kill his daughter because that would be bad." So she lets the daughter free. And then the guy comes into the safe room and is like, "I did the bad stuff. It was my evil plan." And
No.
she recorded it on a random recorder, and it's like, "I got you, bitch." And he gets caught, and then the son goes free. And end of movie, she no longer has PTSD.
That's not how PTSD works.
She ran out
Um,
of it?
She
yeah,
ran out. She
ran
went
out of
to. She
PTSD.
stopped drinking and then she got rid of her PTSD.
Yeah. So basically this woman was getting gaslit, but then she figured out I'm not being gaslit and then saved the day.
Wow, incredible.
Very average 2.5-star Netflix movie. What you'd expect from trending on Netflix.
That does.
10.
Why does Netflix always like the top movies of the day always are just not good? Who are
Because
watching these movies? Yeah, why are they so
Us.
popular when they're so bad?
Well, Beck's
we
watching
watched
the movie.
we watched Havoc.
That's what I'm saying. It was the #1 movie that like the day I watched it. Why? It was not so bad. Who is watching this and then recommending it to more people so that everybody else watches it?
I thought you loved Havoc.
It's an actual
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Okay, and then the other thing I watched was a movie that I actually have wanted to see for a while, Idiocracy.
Ooh.
I
I remember this
it's
got
Mike
really big
Judge.
when Trump got elected. He got really
Yeah.
big.
It's Mike Judge, same guy. I think he did King of the Hill.
Yeah, he did
King of
Office
King of the
Space, King of the
Hill,
Hill.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
We
Wait,
did all-
Mike Judge did Office Space?
yeah.
he did Office Space, yeah.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, so basically it's just like a comedy where like 500 years in the future everyone's really dumb and there's one
Awesome.
guy of average intelligence and he's like an insanely smart guy. And you know, there's a lot of just like funny stuff where you're just like the same thing you do when like you're watching this sci-fi movie, you're like, wow, that kind of came true. Because there's this whole thing about like, guys, we've replaced all of water with this thing called Brondo, which has electrolytes, and that's what plants crave. And I was like, do you know what electrolytes are? It's like, it's what plants crave. What do plants crave? It's electrolytes. So they literally they have a crop shortage because they keep watering their crops with basically Gatorade, and then they're like, why doesn't it work? It has electrolytes. Plants love electrolytes.
That should be working. I'm not sure why it wasn't.
So then it doesn't work, and so the guy's like, okay, a plan here. Let's replace the Gatorade with water, and hopefully that works. He tries that for one day, and then since they're no longer using the water for crops, the entire company goes bankrupt, and half of the country gets unemployed. So they all want to kill him now. So he has to survive a monster truck death race. And then turns out it does work, and the plants did grow, and everyone's like, wow, this guy, he might be smart. So they listen to him, and he saves the day.
Beck, you said this happened now. Like we're
We're replacing water.
replacing water with
I'm just
Gatorade.
saying, the thing with like randomly just throwing electrolytes into everything, like, do you know how many
Oh,
things?
That's what you
Guys,
meant. That
electrolytes.
I think you're still wrong about that. I don't think this is a
Or
like
you
the
just
problem that
throwing-
exists right now.
I think there's a problem of electrolytes. People just
I don't
Mike,
think
you know
there
what?
is.
Aiden,
So
Aiden,
I'm very
Aiden,
lost right now. I do not
Aiden
understand
and
what Beck
Nicola,
is trying to argue.
please shut up. Beck, speak your truth about electrolytes.
All right, let's hear this truth.
I just feel they just keep being thrown into random stuff when like no one knows what it means. you
Like
know?
what stuff, Beck, specifically?
Yeah, what stuff?
I don't know. I just see so much stuff with like that Prime energy drink. They're like, guys, we got electrolytes, and I'm like,
Do you know? But you do know what electrolytes are?
Yeah, right?
do
Beck,
you
what
know
are
what electrolytes are?
Yes.
Yeah, you can put them in liquids.
Okay, but what do they do?
Okay.
They give you energy. and
Electrolytes are
hydrate.
minerals that
This is literally a scene in the movie.
electrolytes are minerals that carry electrical charge. It allows you to be more efficient with your energy usage. Therefore, it affects the amount of pH in your blood and therefore how well your blood can transfer oxygen and how well your muscles can function. That's why typically you drink a lot of electrolytes so that your muscles could function better before you work out. It's just science. Lock in, bro.
So, do you think we should water plants with electrolytes?
Plants just don't need it. Plants don't need electrolytes.
But like,
They're-
they needed to like carry the energy.
No,
I
they
don't think so.
What is he talking about? Is he the Idiocracy? Was Beck the
Was
Idiocracy?
he the movie all along? Did he just make this
Yeah.
entire thing up to begin with?
Is this the show?
Anyway,
might
Okay,
be
so
the
that
show.
was the movie.
that's
Wow, Beck.
Idiocracy. I know. I really want to see it. I heard it's a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's like
When did it come out?
Like 2000s.
2005.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, it's like there's a lot of movies that I've been like watching recently, but it was just like, wow, that was good, but I didn't enjoy it, you know? Whereas like I can say this is a well-made movie, but I didn't like necessarily have a good time watching it. This like I haven't like had like a fun comedy movie I've seen in a while, so this was a good
Have you did you not like I don't know. I don't know what's a movie that we've seen. Until Dawn. You loved Until Dawn.
Guys, what the fuck is Until Dawn?
So
let's
you
talk
do
about
know?
Until
Are you
Dawn.
familiar with the game Until Dawn, Uri?
No, what's that?
So
Well, you
Until
don't need to
Dawn.
be.
Okay, to
No,
be
let's
fair,
talk-
I've never played the game. I don't even know the story of the game. So going into the movie, I judged it just solely as a movie.
Okay, let me tell you then, Uri, about the game, and then we'll go into the game. Is these characters? They all go to the mountain, for like a whatever annual trip
Mhm.
thing after the two sisters died in the woods last year, and they all go back up. They're like, "Wow, this is a bad idea." And then Rami Malek is like, "No, no, trust." And then he pranks them, and he's like, "Ha, spooked you guys." But he also accidentally kills a couple of them along the way. But then actually, there's forest Wendigo demons. And then more characters die, and then they have to last until dawn because that's when the police and helicopters will
Wait,
be
say
able
that
to
again?
arrive. And so that's what the movie's about. But also, what very important of the game
Wait, so say
is
that again?
that you're
They have to survive until what?
until dawn. But
They
one of the
go Until
like
Dawn?
the main aspect, like the main mechanic of the game is that all of your decisions matter and impact the flow of the story. Characters can live or die depending on how you like interact with them and with the game. So it has it's called the butterfly effect within the game, and it's a very big part of it. And this is nowhere present in the movie. In fact, the movie has almost nothing to do with the game.
I mean, one of them wears a butterfly necklace, so that's the same.
One of them does wear a butterfly necklace. Wow, and that's about all the parallels that we've got. Until Dawn is a time loop movie.
Yeah, that's why Beck loved it.
This is a classic.
That's why it's his movie of the year.
W.
It's Beck's
What,
movie
It's
of the
not-
year
where
just
does
because
where
of
does the
that.
time loop start?
Okay.
At
So
the
I will explain the time
okay,
loop mechanics.
okay,
and that's my
this is Beck's areas of expertise.
So
Yeah, he's
they
splurging.
drive into the forest and they arrive at the visitor center. And as they arrive, it's raining. But when they get to the visitor center, there's like a circle where it's not raining. And this is basically the bounds of the time loop, where if they go past that, there's a giant monster that will kill them. So what they need to do is they need to survive until dawn, and if they all die, the night resets to basically right when the sun sets. And if they can make it until dawn, where one person needs to have died for the loop to end. Like if they all survive, the loop doesn't end. But if one person dies, then they can all escape in the morning.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
you can only survive a certain amount of loops. They say 13 is about the average amount someone can follow. And each time you go through a different loop, you get more and more like disfigured or mutated into a different monster.
into
So
a Wendigo, like from
Yeah.
the game.
So
But,
all
like,
the
not at all.
monsters they fight in the movie are previous people that were trapped in the loop but couldn't get out.
So it's very sort of stylized time loop we have here.
Yeah.
It is. It's good. It's good conceptually.
Also
Time
directed
loop.
by the guy who made Shazam.
Yeah.
Which I just
So
think is
that.
kind of funny.
Yeah, Aiden?
Yeah. So conceptually, time loop, plot all works. I think. My thing is one. It pays the adaptation tax. You can't just use the like name Until Dawn and then just not do anything at all. So
Yeah,
it pays
is
that kind of a
nothing like
tax.
the game.
Nothing like the game. The only thing that like is similar at all is the psychiatrist from the game is in this movie as the main villain. That's not what he does in the game, like at all. He's just a psychiatrist.
It is
Um,
so stupid. In the post credit scene is them teasing the actual game. Like
So-
we
Yeah.
came here to see the game adapted.
I'm gonna
They're like,
give
no,
my-
no, no.
I'm gonna
No,
give
no,
my
no.
opinion as somebody who watched the movie not knowing anything about the game. It's a pretty average horror movie. Like I would say, not if you didn't know about the game at all and you had like no concept of it at all, which I didn't. It's a good concept, and like some of the jump scares were good, but like I would say it's not like an exceptional horror movie. It's a pretty average horror movie.
think it's a very interesting time loop concept, but as like a movie, I don't like it.
Exactly. yeah.
Listen. Here's what really gets me is that there are so many plot contrivances and bullshit that happens in this movie. Like they literally skip over most of the
Oh my god, that was so stupid.
most of the nights, and they're like, oh, we forgot them, but look, we can look at the iPhone and the iPhone filmed them. Look at this really shitty AR found footage that we have. And then like the psychiatrist is also in the. How does the time loop fucking work? Are they in like
That is
their
true.
head?
There's like
Are
no
they in,
explanation.
is it in their minds?
That was something that I was also very confused because they
Is it in their minds? Is it a
he
real
said-
thing?
He said, "Oh, this is all real," but then he doesn't explain how it's all real.
Yeah. Is it magic? Is it just bullshit?
They just don't explain
What-
it. That's the issue.
What was his entire? Why was he
Yeah,
a
there's
bad
also
guy?
no goal.
Why did he do it?
He had no
Why
goal.
did he do it?
He just was like,
Yeah.
"I like Wendigos." I don't know.
The movie, the entire like second half of the movie falls apart because you just think about it and you're like, why is any of this happening? Because they don't explain it. Like for Uri, for Smile, everything has a reason to happen,
Yeah.
and everything concludes at the end, and all
Yeah.
makes sense and all feels final. This movie is just like, we beat it. We pop out of the ground and we all beat it. We beat the dream sequence. I don't even know. I don't know.
Does it do a thing? Does it do a thing where usually in horror movies where they beat the thing, then it's a false victory, then they have to beat it again?
Not
No.
really.
No, they
No,
get
really.
out. And the
They just
girl's
te-
over the
They just
PTSD.
tease the
There are some
sequel.
very funny moments though.
This movie's there's one sequence where they all die to explode it to like
So,
water.
can
They
I
all
just explain that?
explode.
Funny.
So they found out that if you drink the water, you explode. So the way they set up that scene is that they had everybody like lock themselves in the bathroom because they like just died brutally the last time. So they're like, okay, you know what? We're all thirsty. Let's get a glass of water. So then everybody drinks the water. And then the first person that drinks the water starts coughing, and he starts coughing more and more until eventually he has like beans in his hand that came out of his body. He's like, oh, that's not good. But he can't hide the cough until eventually he's like, oh, man, I don't feel so good. And he just explodes. So then everybody's
will
freaking
say
out. And then one at a
this
time, they just keep
sequence-
exploding.
This sequence has really good practical effects. If it wasn't a horror movie that I was supposed to be taking seriously,
Yeah.
because the
Okay.
actual like explosion of the characters is really well done, but it's also like super cheesy. It was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just sounds like not like a good adaptation, which I think it's the base fail. Because if you get like a video game,
Exactly.
should
That's what
try to
I'm
adapt it.
saying.
and like forget about it being a horror movie, just if it's a good adaptation. But it's a horror game, so presumably you're gonna have to make it like a exciting horror movie. And I think you need like it ends on them like beating the bad guy, and then that's it.
Yeah, they beat the bad guy. They come out of the whatever, and they're like, "Wow, we did it. My sister is still dead, but at least she's dead for real." And we've concluded the plot. None of the characters are important, or have a character. There's the one guy that's actually entertaining, is like the one character that like has a brain.
And they set him up as like a bad guy, being like, wow, this guy wants to leave everyone, but like, bro,
This guy wants to run away while
Yeah,
everyone else
That's
is being stupid.
interesting.
And
I did
then-
notice that too.
And then they kill him in one of the loops. Like they just murder their friend.
they stabbed him through the chest with a pickaxe. It's like, you wanted to kill someone, so I'm gonna kill you.
And we're gonna waste our chance at leaving because you wanted to do something smart. Like he's like the only intelligent character in this. None of the other characters are smart. I literally forgot there was 5 guys. There's because like
Like
one
the
of the
burgers?
one of, like
It was like the
Yeah, like
second
the
guy, the main
the second
woman.
guy. I forgot about the second guy because there's the main girl who has a character arc thing. There's the Asian girl who just keeps getting her shit rocked by everything. There's the big boob girl who is important to the smart guy. And then there's the other guy who is also, I don't know. And then they show Rami Malek's photo one time. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I quite frankly did not think that this was a very good movie.
I know that this director guy, I was like watching like a video about it. He does like have like a YouTube channel where he talks about like the movie he makes. So I want to like see like his thoughts on like actually like why he did all this.
Yeah, because there are a lot of choices in this one.
Yeah, very
Lot of
very
choices.
interesting choice.
Lot of choices to be had in this one.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like I feel like they just kind of failed at the fundamental level of making this movie.
Yeah,
But-
fundamentally flawed. Right from the get go. But I mean, like, listen, if I think the time loop concept is good, like that's a cool thing to be doing. They just didn't do it well.
That's fair. Let's talk about The Last of Us. So we didn't talk about episode 3 because episodes 3 and 4 kind of feel like packaged episodes together. Where essentially we have episode 3 reflects on sort of like the grief after Joel's death, and we set
I'm
up
gonna be a dad.
Ellie leaving to go to Seattle, and Dina
Beck
with her.
just keeps
And
flexing his fucking keyboard, bro.
like, why you keep going down, Beck?
Sorry, yeah, give me a sec. I'm just readjusting.
Readjusting what you already had like a good. Also, your half of your head is cut off. So, anyway, and so we got that, and so like episode 3 is like it's a really good episode, very quiet episode. Tommy has like a meeting with sort of the therapist saying that Ellie's a liar because she gave like a speech like she doesn't want to do this for Joel. She just wants to do this for the community because like they can't just
She
attack
wants
us.
to do it for herself.
But it's so obvious she wants to do it for
There's
herself.
like a big theme about the second game. There's like some type of theme about revenge and stuff like that.
And so we see that, and then her and Dina they go together, and then it ends with them arriving in like Seattle. Episode 2,
And they're like, oh,
episode
there's
4,
not that many people. And then we find out there's an entire freaking army in Seattle.
Yeah, and there's before this isn't in the games. I think it's just hinted at in the games, but we actually get to see like the scars and the Seraphites.
Think so,
I mean, they're
maybe.
like in the game, but like we get a lot more like backstory.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not very prominent, in the
Yeah.
game.
It's kind
Here
of
we get, like,
keep going, Ari. I forgot what I was
but
saying.
no, we get to introduce to the Seraphites, the scars, and like they're like a sort of a tribal sort of religious sort of cult that's worshiping like a figure who is like we don't know who, but she's dead by this point, but we don't know who she was. She might have been like an early figure in the early days of the apocalypse who must have done something. I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to maybe like a little backstory episode on her. That could be cool. But they sort of worship this woman, and then we have the wolves, the WLF, and episode 4
The
starts off
Washington
with
Liberation Force, yes.
episode 4 starts off with Josh. Josh Peck is so annoying that Jeffrey Wright leaves the Fedra. He's so annoying. He's like, he's such an asshole. He
I
leaves
got
Fed.
some bad news for you guys. I did not watch episode 4.
I also did not watch episode 4, so that's really funny.
So I'll be talking about
Ari's the
episode
only
4.
one that's watched episode 4.
I don't care if you spoil it.
Yeah, I also don't. I've seen
Okay.
2 clips, which is a freeze frame of Ellie firing a gun and the scene where she says, "I'm gonna be a dad."
Well, yeah. So
Those are the only 2
gonna be
things I've
honest.
seen.
I think I had a little bit of trouble with episode 4 personally because now that like I know it's based off of the game and stuff, but I'm kind of feeling like we're now kind of a bit of aimless right now in the show a bit because I found it like in a post Joel world like it is losing a bit of its flavor for me a bit. Like what are we kind of doing just kind of wandering around? I know it's based off the game, but it feels like I know it just feels. Am I this interested in just watching Ellie and Dina do their thing, or I don't know? I feel like I know it feels like it could get to this interesting point. I feel like I know it kind of feels like there's a little sauce missing without Pedro here.
That's definitely the problem people had with the game was that like the first one was very much built on the relationship of Ellie and Joel, and then removing that, they didn't make something compelling enough to like I feel like they wanted like the Ellie and Dina relationship to kind of be like that, but it didn't really work out.
Yeah, and I could see like because I think in a way that could be actually very helpful for the games because now without Joel, they're kind of like they can be free with what they want to do and like it doesn't because like the first game is actually a very simple idea and game. Two people go across the country and now
Yeah.
they do it. But this game has more opportunity to do some random things. But now I'm still trying to find what's their kind of storyline because like they're going in many different directions. They're focusing on the WLF, Abby, the Scar War.
Have you played the second game? Have you or haven't you not?
I have not. I know, but
Oh, I
I
see.
know what happens.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of going a lot in like these open kind of random areas, which
Yeah.
could be interesting because now it is kind of exciting without Joel here. The game and I mean the TV show, it does feel a bit free now. We can really do anything without Joel because in a way, I do think Joel was kind of weighing down the show a bit. But I'm still trying to figure out what this show is without Joel. So I'm in these both headspaces, like kind of feels aimless, but also it could be really exciting to see what the show is like without Joel and without Pedro. So it's kind of an interesting point. I don't think episode 4 worked enough for me the way episode 3 did, but I enjoyed episode 4 just kind of exploring the new area because like it kind of had a cool sort of kind of video game technology because what's cool about a video game is that you can explore a new world, you know, like you can move from one place to another place and explore the new place. And this episode very much felt like video game-ish where we got to explore new Seattle, you know.
Very much the big benefit I think behind video game in terms of storytelling is the way that you can have player choice for how much of the world that you want to explore.
Yeah,
Like, for example,
because
if I care about the world, I can stop, I can read all the notes and like all like the audio logs, backstory, or if I don't, I can just like skip like directly to the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I feel like
yeah, and in the
You
games you
lose that
really don't.
choice. Yeah.
In the game, you can just really skip past like Ellie doing the guitar thing because they know those are like fan service good moments. They do the fan service of showing us explore Seattle, so we get to see like
Yeah.
the pride's flags and stuff like that. Ellie doing her iconic "Take on Me" in guitar
Yeah,
when she
yeah.
plays guitar. They do that well. I really enjoyed that part. That was great. I don't know, it felt kind of like I enjoyed it. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I feel like I'm still kind of wondering what the structure is of the show right now. And I'm still thinking, what are we really doing here? Because episode 3 felt like it very much felt naturally continuing from episode 2 where Joel dies. But now I'm thinking, what is this show right now? And I'm still kind of struggling to see the big puzzle. But I think as more episodes go on, I think I will enjoy it more.
Yeah.
We got a really cool the way they do it because in the game Ellie does like during the spores and her mask breaks, but in the show I think they do it smarter where they're attacked by
Yeah, because there's no spores
Victoria,
in the show.
but they're starting to develop the spores.
They are. They
will do
actually
it
are
for
starting to
the-
introduce
Oh.
that. That's interesting.
And what's cool is that they're being attacked by the infected, and Dina's about to be attacked, but Ellie like puts out her arm so the infected bites her, you know, to save Dina. But then Dina's thinking like, you know, oh my god, she's gonna die, so I have to kill her. And then she holds a gun and she's like, why did you do that? And then she's no, I'm infected. I'm immune. I'm immune.
Yeah.
But then she's like, I don't. She's like, she
Yeah,
very
I
much.
mean
She's
that's
like,
kind
Alex.
of it's a little bit flawed because it's like I mean it's kind of similar to the game because like how would you really prove it? But you know.
Yeah, and so she sleeps and she waits for Dina to she's like, let me sleep throughout the night and like you'll see I'm fine. And then Dina sees that she's fine and she starts like kind of crying because she says like I'm pregnant. And then they do something where
This is the main thing. I wonder if we can discuss if we prefer the game way or the movie way.
I actually I think I know how it's done in the game, but I really enjoy this moment for it being done, like them having sex for the first time. I enjoy it because it comes out of like a moment of like tension of like losing each other, and then they do it not just from the start of the game. I feel like it's kind of better done here, their sex scene, than in the game because it comes out of like a moment of like sort of scaredness, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So they do that, and like now it seems like they're going to be fully into it, which is kind of a good pairing because like in the first game in season we get to see sort of a father-son dynamic, and now it's more of a kind of lovers dynamic who are
Yeah.
going because now they're fully together.
Here's
I
the
think that's
question,
gonna
because
give-
like in the game when Ellie finds out that she's pregnant, she's like, "Oh, you're a liability. Like, why didn't you say beforehand?" And like, "Oh, if you weren't a liability before, you are now because like it's a liability to have a pregnant woman with you." But in the game,
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a dad." So
mean, you
it's
mean the
interesting that
show.
they changed it quite a bit. Yeah, I said, did I
Yeah,
not say in the show?
you said in the game,
Yeah. Well, I'm at
but
the game for the first one,
I
show for the
think-
second one.
I think
Yeah, she
I
said, "I'm
think it's
pregnant. I'm gonna be a
yeah,
dad."
I think it's
he was the one.
smarter
Yeah, and then
I
then
think-
Ellie said, "I'm gonna be a dad."
in
Yeah,
the show.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's smarter to have this sort of like love now. She now takes on sort of a troll role of like caring for someone. I think it's smarter because it gives me a little bit more to cling on with Ellie rather than just like I want to kill this person who killed my dad. But now it actually gives Ellie to fight for something, and I think that's way more compelling.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a little bit more better than just watching someone try to kill someone for like in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think I think personally it's a smarter choice to have that than just like continue regularly. But because now it feels like she really needs to fight for something. And it will make it much more tragic when how the kind of like plays out throughout the show. Because now she's like she can just go back to Jackson and just take care of Dina and the child. She doesn't need to do this, but it's all the more tragic that she's going on this
He's
path.
like risking all this just for revenge.
Yeah, and so it's really smart. I really because Jeffrey Wright plays the guy Isaac in the games. I really enjoy the backstory they gave him, where he's a sergeant in Fedra, but he's become disillusioned, so he joins the WLF. And so he's like the first scene. Josh Peck is just doing like an asshole thing, where he's like talking about like how he beat up a bunch of civilians, and then you could see how
Hell yeah.
we call and like in Jeffrey Wright as a sergeant, he's like you see the despising he hates for the Fedra and what he's become a part of. They just when he leaves to meet with like one of the heads of like WLF outside, he just throws a bomb and they all blow up.
Yeah, makes sense.
Except for one member who's like a young guy. He's like make your choice, and then you see later that the guy stayed with Isaac and the WLF. So we see that, and that's a really cool. I really enjoy that performance. I think Jeffrey Wright's a fantastic actor, and like anything you see Jeffrey Wright in, you immediately kind of gravitate towards. He's such a great actor.
He is, yeah.
Because like we've seen, he's in Hunger Games, like he was in American Fiction. He's been in a bunch of great things that you can really just.
I really like him in American Fiction. He like jumped very well between like the comedic side and the like the serious side.
So we're seeing that we saw a really cool sort of battle of ideologies between because we cut to later where Isaac is he's torturing a Scar, and he's like because they're like in a war and it's like a bunch of he said she said type of thing where like we don't really know how the war started between them, but it's like kind of a bunch of back and forths, and we're like he's torturing the person, and it's kind of ironic because like he left the Fedra because of all the brutality, but then in the WLF, he's just doing the same stuff. And it's really kind of showing how like humanity can just go into factionalism and tribalism very quickly when they really should all be working together to stop the infected. So we see that. And so, but then the Scar, who's really who's like bruised horrendously, and like we will win. And then like Isaac saw like why, like we have automatic weapons, we have medical equipment, we will destroy you. And then he said something so chilling like every day another wolf becomes a Scar, but never a Scar becomes a wolf.
Ah, that's a fire quote.
And and that kind of just ends the conversation, and then he just kills him. But it's such a good like showing how even like people can really believe in something, and like religion can really be important. Like, but people never like join sort of a militia over like because people can really be adherents to sort of a religious cause. It's very powerful. The show, I think, I know I said like I was having trouble with this episode, but now talking about it, I do kind of enjoy it more. And I think I think actually will have a stronger. I think this season will be stronger, and I think it has very much potential to play around if they kind of structure it all. Because this episode kind of felt like Ellie and Dina were really in the background, and the main focus was just the war between the Seraphites and the wolves. And we're just kind of they're like characters who are inserted into a war, very much like remember the what was it the Colorado episodes of season 1 where it's like we see them the Melanie like the woman trying to fight like her brother's killers, and like she's just like yeah like the yeah and it's like episode 4 and 5 of last season, very much like those episodes. Kind of feels like that now in Seattle. So we're getting that type of thing, and so pretty enjoyable. I think Jesse has to come soon. It makes sense if he because he wasn't in this episode, but he arrived in Seattle eventually. I think. I think they're very much doing something with close to the game, guys. Like I think they're really focusing on Ellie, and I think the beginning first part, I think they might do the block thing that they're doing from the game. Like we do a bunch of block on Ellie, and then another block on Abby, which might start season 3. I don't even think we're going to get a lot of Abby this season.
Yeah, so we don't see Abby at all. Episode 4 is just other.
No, I don't think. I honestly think we're going to start. We're not even going to get. I think the last shot might be of Abby of the season, and then we start off season 3 with Abby.
Yeah,
I feel like that might happen.
Does it ever like say like Seattle day 3 or?
It said Seattle. It said Seattle day 1.
It is kind of crazy how she did clear out all of Seattle in like a couple days. That is kind of a crazy feat that she did.
So we're getting that. It's getting pretty exciting, you know. Yeah. But that's The Last of Us. Really enjoying it. What else do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about Thunderbolts now or anything else? Aiden, you're not talking.
I think we can talk about Thunderbolts. That's about all we have.
Right, I'm on mute. Yeah, I think that's the last thing.
Is that the last thing? Anybody want to say anything else before we talk about the final Thunderbolts?
Well, do you want to quick? We already did like the My Little Pony. We
did that.
We did already do that. So I think we just have Thunderbolts left. That's it.
Okay, guys. Okay, I want to start off with this. I am fucking shocked that this is like a real movie, like a real actual movie.
It's a real movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like Marvel schlock. It's like a real, actually good fucking movie.
They made a good movie? What?
It's real surprising.
No, guys, it actually is surprising because I did not expect it to be this good at all. Because, like, guys, I kind of enjoy this even more than Sinners. I know that kind of crazy. I enjoy it like a little bit more.
I agree with that. I
disagree. I like Sinners more, but I still really like Sinners.
No, I think Sinners is still the best movie of this year so far.
I can agree.
Looney Tunes?
Nicola, I can agree with that on like a fundamental level. Like it's just quality-wise better, but I just enjoy my personal time.
True, I did enjoy Thunderbolts a lot more. Not a lot more, but I didn't. I think I would say I enjoyed Thunderbolts.
I think
more.
on a fundamental level, Sinners is way better, but like I just enjoyed it.
Between fundamentally good movie and I am enjoying the movie. I'm having the best time of my life.
Yeah,
because it was like just so fun realizing what this movie was becoming as I was watching it was so crazy. Like, oh, like wait, why does that character arc work? Wait, why is this final act really working? Wait, why is the messaging of this movie?
Why is John Walker the best character?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, John Walker in this movie is amazing because they do his redemption arc really well, and I actually fucking love Wyatt Russell as an actor. I love Wyatt Russell. He's so good.
I think Walker was already good in Falcon Winter Soldier.
He was definitely the best part of.
He was the only part of the show that I liked.
Yeah.
Like his character arc becoming the like villainous kind of whatever he is. Very cool.
And then from seeing that to like kind of like the good guy in this movie was crazy.
Yeah, he's like good but an asshole. That's what all the characters are. Is that they are morally ambiguous but all assholes, and it's so good. It's so funny. It's so well written.
You guys saw it twice, all three of you?
Yeah,
we did.
Why did you see it twice?
Because Lucas wanted to see it.
That is true.
Ah.
And I also did want to see it twice because it was just good.
We also wanted to see it twice.
Yeah, no.
But I, for some reason, because when I rewatch movies, I like to pay attention to things.
He likes to actually
like
pay attention the second time.
I like to pay attention to that, like the like filmmaking of it. And for some reason this time I focused on the aspect ratio. One scene that I want to point out was especially good was the first, like once the vault explodes, and they get launched down. We see Elena's like void whatever thing for the first time. When it goes in, the like darkness of the void expand out the aspect ratio at the same time to widen it out, and then when she comes out of it, it closes in as it's zooming back out. And I was just like watching the aspect ratios, and I'm like, wow, that's really good, because I've been noticing in a lot of movies lately that they don't really care for the aspect ratio. It's just like, oh, fight scene, widen it open. Oh, we're done with that. Close it up. You know?
Yeah. No, it's like technically really impressive because like the director did say it was kind of a joke, but there's a lot of A24 people working on this movie. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like the director was the director of Beef. We got a writer of The Bear who wrote the movie, and like a bunch of people who worked on A24 stuff worked on this movie. It very much, even though it's kind of a joke, it very much did feel like an A24 Marvel movie, you know?
Yeah.
Because like,
especially with its theming around mental health and depression and stuff.
I am so shocked that came out. But even from the start, when you think Elena kills herself, but then it's just a parachute, because like she just jumps off the thing, and then she's like talking about her sadness, but then the parachute, obviously, and then you get a little moment where they after they climb up from like the vault type of thing, and then John Walker just after he has sort of his memory thing with Bob. He he does like a little look like he's gonna jump for a second.
Yeah, there's a lot of Call of the Void. Like, I'm gonna kill myself.
I'm like shocked about how much like suicidal ideation this movie talked about. It was kind of crazy and nuts. Like,
it's kind of really awesome.
It's really cool that a Marvel movie was about this. Like, that the climax of a fucking movie was a group hug.
Fucking Inside Out 2 ending.
Yeah. Except there was fire.
It was fire.
Yeah.
Way better than
defeated him with it's like the power of friendship done correctly.
It is such a power of the friendship ass movie. It's like but it actually like works really well. When even
it was because of the theme. The theme is mental health, so that's why it works.
I think it really worked for me with the group hug when John Walker even came in and did the hug. And like when everyone just comes in, it's kind of crazy. Well, let's talk about character by character. Florence Pugh steals the show. She's so good in this movie. As sort of the leader, I love her.
I watched Black Widow like an hour before going to see the movie. I had not seen Black Widow, and I was like, this is probably the most important one considering Yelena, Red Guardian, and Taskmaster all from this movie. So I watched that one. That movie's okay. That movie's still good, I think. But definitely her character is a lot stronger in this movie because she's not like relegated to side character that is just Natasha too. It's like she is her own character. Better than Natasha, I think. Better than ScarJo.
I think she might be better than ScarJo.
She's way better than ScarJo.
She's such a good lead for this movie. She's such a good lead. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And like just seeing her like from her being sadness to her kind of like helping the day and like helping Bob throughout the movie was so good. John Walker, awesome character. He like his arc is so good.
John Walker is great.
I love the asshole, asshole but like kind heart character.
And then he becomes a good guy at the end, like Steve from Stranger Things type of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is.
And then guys, they literally did. I would say I think the most underdeveloped character in this movie is Ghost. Ghost
was just not used really at all.
Okay, listen, I just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp earlier today because I was like, wait, Ghost is in this movie. It takes off a movie on the Paul Rudd list. We'll rewatch that one. Also, an okay movie. Perfectly serviceable. I don't know why
they just never really use Ghost, like ever. I don't know why.
She doesn't even get like a trauma memory flashback.
No, they missed out on using ghost form.
Yeah.
They just like even in Ant-Man and the Wasp, she doesn't even use that much.
Yeah, she's a little cooler though. She does a little bit more cool stuff with the fighting, but she like in Thunderbolts, she's the by far most underutilized. Doesn't really have like very many like memorable lines or anything.
Yeah,
Like,
she's very background. Yeah,
yeah, which is like having only one character out of a main 6 group be like the like one that is like kind of iffed on. Still very impressive.
That's still pretty cool because in like Avengers usually just like a Hawkeye or someone. But no, very good. Because I totally didn't know who was going to be in this movie. I knew it was going to be like Elena Walker and like, but I didn't realize Taskmaster was going to be in the movie. I thought, oh, Taskmaster is going to be in the movie. No.
She's in all the promotional material. Dies 1 minute into the movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That is really fun. I also like that you kind of did spoil it by saying the 6 asterisks and then the 5 asterisks, and that told me. Yeah.
And so the Taskmaster gets rid of, which is fine. I don't care about Taskmaster as a character.
I think they just need to do the real Taskmaster next time.
Yeah,
I think they'll get real Taskmaster.
They're gonna do that, but I think that's the whole point of killing off this Taskmaster is to introduce like the real one.
Valentina, very much one-dimensional but fun, you know?
Yeah, she was very much a fun villain.
She's like, it's so fun just how opportunistic she is. And she's like an evil Nick Fury.
Watching it the second time, I like noticed the every moment. Like when she realized, like the first time, I didn't like the New Avengers pull at the end. Kind of like surprised me. The second time watching it, I actually noticed like Valentine's character. She like perks up as soon as you hear all the clapping for the Thunderbolts when they like after like saving all the people. Like there's a shot like right after he saves the little, or no, it's right after they push it over. There's all the clapping. There's a shot of Valentina perking up her ears. That's when she gets the first idea.
And then Red Guardian, scene stealer. He was so fun in this movie.
Yeah.
Red Guardian.
He's so clear. He's having so much fun.
David Harbour is such a good actor when he's not playing Hopper.
Yeah, he's so serious as Hopper.
I think the movie definitely goes up in quality. Like when Red Guardian finally like joins the rest of them. I wish he joined earlier.
Bucky, kind of same thing you always really get with Bucky, but because he's gone through his redemption arc, we don't really need to continue seeing that. But now he's like
Bucky has been in the most MCU movies out of any character. He doesn't necessarily need more. It's always fun when he shows up. It's always good when he shows up. And he makes
like a mentor role right now. You know, he's like a very much mentor kind of figure because he's gone through the redemption arc. We don't need to see more of that, but he's just a consistently fun, good character.
Yeah. He's just kind of lost, but I think he's found a home now.
I enjoyed Valentina's assistant. That was a fun little arc we had.
Oh yeah, Mel. I think she'll be officially part of the Thunderbolts because her character in the comic is Songbird, who is a Thunderbolts member sometimes.
What does she do?
And then let's talk about
she's also part of the New Avengers as of 2015.
What does she do?
Powers. She might just be Black Canary.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then let's
either way, Mel might come back as like a real character.
Let's talk about the core of this movie, Bob
Sentry, the Void. Yeah.
No, he's he's like a really good character in this movie. I don't think he's the best character in this movie, but he's a really good core emotional character of this movie. Fantastically performed by Louis Pullman.
I do not think Steven Yeun would have done nearly a good job at this.
Yeah, no. Steven Yeun is a very good actor, but I think it required a level of like more of unrecognizability because I feel like we know who Steven Yeun is as an actor by now. We need a little bit more of a no-name guy, even though he's the son of Bill Pullman, the actor. Yeah, he's not been in a lot of things, so we need someone who like is a bit more of a fresh face in Hollywood.
Yeah, he also looked very. This is something I said in Mickey 17, but he looked very wet the whole movie, which is very good for the character of Bob.
Yeah.
And I do like how they handled the Sentry Void thing. I know they came out and said we couldn't do what they do in the comics, where like Bob is like this superhero that like gets erased from memory because of Spider-Man. So they had to change it. And I think they did it in a good way where it's like an internalized depression kind of state.
It's really good because you definitely feel like it's definitely a metaphor for some sort of like bipolar sort of borderline personality type of thing. Definitely like really good. Him and Yelena, they work so well. It's like sort of a pairing.
Yeah.
So good. You got a lot of moments like just like him as a character really works. He goes from like a guy who's like very unsure about himself to sort of like villain, then killed, and then major villain comes out, and then he has to like I was really sad if he was going to become the ultimate villain of this movie, but then when he fought himself, the void instead, and the depression came the villain. That was a much cooler idea because I really, really enjoyed sort of the aesthetic of the void character. He looked so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they did such a good job.
It's just a
The only
silhouette
time-
with the pinhole eyes is so cool.
The only time that it wasn't good, there's like one shot where it's like very hard to see him in the skyline because he's overlapping with buildings. But every other time, just him against the sky or whatever is really good and really awesome looking, and like the power.
Yeah.
Boom. Very good.
But the
very
shadow,
cool.
the turning people into shadows is probably one of the coolest like villain abilities.
It was so cool.
No one can beat that. Like they don't necessarily like fully beat the void. They just like kind of
I remember when the trailers were coming out and people were like, how are the people that just punch and shoot
I mean,
gonna
everybody
beat
said it because it's
the
like
void?
the exact same way everybody said in the comics. It's like it's just the same way they do it in the comics. It's just that Bob has to defeat himself.
Yeah. And so I was gonna say that because it was like so cool, just them becoming shadow people. So that was so cool. And then, guys, people in my theater gasp when the little girl becomes a shadow.
Yeah, no.
I remember people in our theater
we
started laughing. Yeah.
It's crazy because like you think they're not gonna do that, but then they do it for a Marvel movie.
Generally, I was like, is that the first child kill of Marvel?
They have no. That is not the first
I know.
child kill of Marvel. There was a child kill at the beginning of the movie.
She wasn't a young child, so she doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah. I think all the emotional arcs work well. I think it's cool that John Walker's sort of like divorced and like he's a bad dad.
And like how
Yelena
he's
has
hiding
trauma
it for
from-
the entire beginning of the movie. Yeah.
I like how even though like he's an asshole. I like how even though he's an asshole the entire movie, like Yelena and like Bob like eventually come around to him. Like Yelena, when he finds out that he's like divorced and his child is gone, she kind of like feels for him, and he's like, yeah, that's it. And there's something I saw online but noticed also is that the whole movie Walker is calling Bobby Bob, or he's calling Bob Bobby, and Bob is calling him Walter or whatever. But Bob is like pretty indifferent to him just because he's like an asshole. But it's because Bob's dad calls him Bobby. Yeah. And then eventually Walker's the one that punches him in the face in the memory, and then he calls him Bob after, and then Bob calls him Walker after.
God,
so
much
You didn't
better.
notice that, Uri?
No, I didn't notice. That's amazing.
yeah. I also don't know if you noticed, Uri, but in the beginning scene, when Yelena's in the whatever the science lab and has to blow everything up, you can see the shadow.
Yeah, the shadows are
Shadow
there.
what?
And it's the beginning of the movie, that lab has the shadows in the
Wow,
background. And that's the
right.
same place as the final
Yeah.
fight scene.
No, it's
Yeah.
really cool because like you get a lot of like it's really cool just seeing them care about each other throughout the movie. Because like think about the original Avengers, we don't really get that in the
The
original
entire
Avengers.
movie they try to kill each other. They hate each other.
Yeah.
But in this, they actually feel like a family.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they talk about that. They're like even like in Black Widow, Natasha's like, no, they're my family. It's like, okay, we're family now. Because it happens during like after Sokovia Civil War stuff, and everyone's like split up. There's no real Avengers. There's still no real Avengers.
Yeah, because like Avengers only come together for like world events, and they stay together.
Only
Yeah,
for
and
Avenger
I'm-
level
I'm-
threats.
I'm really glad I watched this movie before they did the social media thing.
Oh, for
Oh
sure.
my god, that was so dumb.
It's so early.
That's the one part of this movie I really did not fucking like. They do the sport. They do like the they're going to do the post credit scenes.
Yeah.
and they're like, you know what, the new Avengers. I
With a Z.
really like the idea that they were just the Thunderbolts from like the soccer team. I thought that was cool,
Yeah.
but then they're like, no.
I think the new Avengers reveal is really cool. I think that's really awesome. But the problem is the marketing now is they are changing the name of the movie to
I'm
New
so
Avengers,
lost.
and it
Is this movie now called the New Avengers?
I don't
now?
know. I don't know.
Who
They
knows?
changed the poster on like the Cinemark website. Now it says New Avengers. It doesn't say Thunderbolts. But
And
it
so
says
this-
it's called Thunderbolts, but they've changed the posters.
And so this is my question. When we
Yeah.
talk about Avengers Doomsday, are we now referring, are these the Avengers we're going to be referring to?
These are the Avengers with a Z. I
I
don't
think
know.
Avengers
You-
at
you
this
pay
point.
attention during the
I think at
part.
this point, Avengers movie title does not no longer means Avengers team and means Avengers level threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it means we're bringing everyone together in this.
I think it just
movie.
means it's a climactic movie. It's a
Yeah.
it's a large saga
It's
moving
the
movie.
it's the end of the saga. Movie.
Not even an end of a
Right.
saga because there's like it's the
So
end
it
of
no
like
longer
a,
refers to a team,
tier.
it just refers to a threat.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
maybe.
have, so we're definitely gonna get those
because
guys.
I mean the next two is
Fantastic
Avengers
Four.
Doomsday and then Avengers Secret Wars and those are both like the main ones. So
Oh no,
Yes.
it's Fantastic Four and then those.
well yeah, but those are the Avengers movies. That's what I was saying. The Avenger
Oh yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get those, and no, it just feels like, I know it's such a trope to say Marvel's back, Marvel's over, and I know I don't want to fall into that by saying Marvel's back because they could always fumble it with the next movie. I think it's a good thing that we have a good Marvel movie now, at least.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see more of the Thunderbolt New Avengers team. And
Yeah, they're a fun
they said that they're going to come back for more projects in the future. I feel like they might be an important part of Doomsday.
Yeah,
Just
I
'cause
feel like
they're
they
like-
have to. I feel like who else could be the core of Doomsday? Would
I
be
don't know
because Sam
that-
Wilson doesn't
Sam
have his own
Wilson-
Avengers.
he doesn't have his own team. They haven't set up the Young Avengers well enough to do anything with that.
That is true.
I don't think that's going to
Spider-Man's
become a
not
thing.
in the movie.
Because of
Spider-Man's not in
Sony.
the movie.
It's just Sony at this point. If Sony stopped locking Spider-Man into his little bubble, it would be so much better.
No, because they want to do street level stuff with Spider-Man before they go back to.
Well, yeah,
big threats like
I
that.
understand that, but still, like there's so much stuff like even in the past, Spider-Man could have done so much more. Like in
Yeah.
like the one thing I've been hearing is like apparently in the Daredevil Born Again series, there's a part where Kingpin is hunting down every single superhero in New York, and also Kingpin is now like the mayor of all of New York.
Yeah.
And like Spider-Man is operating in New York, and we don't see any mention of him or anything. So like you think they would at least mention him or something like that, but they can't even mention him
Yeah.
because Sony has such an iron grip on him.
And I know the now the Thunderbolts is like good and all. Like maybe there's hype for like Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. I'm still kind of a bit wary of Doomsday and
Oh, yeah,
Secret
for
Wars
sure.
because like
Those
it's
are
like,
still unsure.
because it's like it's such a big thing. Like I like that Thunderbolts it was like a new, fresh idea, and I don't want to go to like the regular big Avengers movies. That feels like just going back to the past, like going back to Infinity War and Endgame. I feel like are we really trying to recreate that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I think what this movie also did a really good job taking all these random characters, a bunch of different like mediocre projects, right? Like Black Widow, people like it, but it's like Disney Plus, locked on Disney Plus. Falcon and Winter Soldier, some people like that one, but overall pretty negative. Ant-Man
Yeah.
and the Wasp, nobody fucking liked that shit.
Hawkeye, no one liked it.
Hawkeye, nobody liked that. But they bring all these characters back, and it's like, look, these characters are good if they're written
Crazy how well
correctly.
they
and
work together, even though they're all pulled from very different like media.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Marvel is when they do that kind of thing. Not like, look, every major character is here.
Yeah.
Look at this handful of characters that can operate together.
Yeah,
Like
just
they
the
do that
rejects,
same
you
thing.
know?
The rejects. They do that same thing in WandaVision. I think that's the first big one where
Also,
they do that.
I feel like
Where they have like they have Monica Rambeau return. They have the FBI guy from Ant-Man and the Wasp. They have Darcy come back.
yeah. You see,
And they
I
do a
feel
little
like-
bit of that in What If as well. It's just like the characters that don't really interacting, and it's
I
like
feel
this
like
is fun.
Marvel is right now prioritizing like money over anything else. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like They revealed Red Hulk before Brave New World because that would get people to watch the movie instead of leaving it a secret and making it actually be like a good movie because that's like the big twist of the movie. They revealed the entire cast of Doomsday instead of like leaving it a secret so we don't know who's gonna appear and make it like more hype just because they knew then people would want to watch it just to see those people. I feel like they're kind of ruining these movies by like revealing all this stuff because they think that's the only way to get people into the theaters.
Yeah. But now it feels like they are bridging a more sort of quality over quantity pathway forward now with Thunderbolts, which is cool. But no, it's very exciting. Does anyone want to recommend something?
Thunderbolts.
Beck,
Thunderbolts,
you haven't
probably,
recommended
yeah.
something in a while. Recommend something new, random, Beck.
I mean, I recommend Surf's Up because it's a fun mockumentary.
True.
Always use Celsius. See
Always
you
do
in
it.
See you
126.
next time.
True.
Always use Celsius. Bye bye.